Right, welcome to the newsletter for this month. We're trying something different. We're trying a video message rather than just a written format. And it's been a cracking month. It's really, the focus for me this month has been all about inland rail. We had the Port of Brisbane come up, Russell Smith and Priscilla Radici from the Port come up to talk about what the Port of Brisbane means to this region and importantly what it means to the inland rail process. But we also had the former Deputy Prime Minister John Anderson come to town. John was an excellent speaker. He's the chair of the implementation group that's been set up by Warren Truss to look at the route and try and get all the players on the same page. We started the day with the transport and logistics operators, talking to both Russell Smith and John Anderson about their issues in the supply chain and transport across the region. That was followed up by a lot of the agricultural representative bodies, the Cotton Guys, AgForce, NFF, all those types of industries. We're talking about the importance of rail to the agricultural sector. And that evening we had 300 businesses turn up to our monthly enterprise evening at the Toowoomba Golf Club, listening to John and Russell speak about the importance of rail. What we've got to remember is that through the port, over 50% of the goods emanating to and from the port come from the Toowoomba Regional Council area and west. So Toowoomba is the second most productive agricultural region in Australia. Western Downs is number 7, and Moree to our west is number 1. And then we've got all those northern river councils, the Lockyer Valley, Southern Downs, Marinara, and the list goes on and on. So it's a particularly important region, and John Anderson highlighted that to say this is his first visit to Toowoomba because he identified how important Toowoomba is to the whole inland rail project. John spoke really favourably about the work that we had done and the Toowoomba Regional Council had done to get all of those players in the one room. He felt it quite unusual to have that level of support and a level of organisation getting these people together. In terms of whether it's going to go ahead, look, there's $300 million on the table at the moment from the federal government. They're trying not to use that money in studies, but they actually want to get cracking on the rail. So I think we might see an announcement later this year that a portion of that inland rail will get started, and then they're saying they think it's probably an 8 to 10 year time frame to get the whole project completed. But importantly, Toowoomba is going to be a major part of that. Resources, coal sector, will probably drive that in terms of paying for it, but agriculture will be the primary need well into the future. So it was a great week in terms of inland rail. I actually think that project is going to get up, and it's going to get up sooner rather than later. There's a few things happening about how we might fund that, and the Commission of Audit at a federal level will talk more about that in the future. A couple of more things locally. Last month, you remember, we spoke about the range bypass, which was particularly exciting for our region. This month also, we've got the Toowoomba Airport, the Wagners Airport, Brisbane West Wellcamp Airport. The tarmac will be laid on that in the next couple of weeks. So that's particularly exciting for the region, not just in terms of passenger numbers and connectivity, but also freight opportunities as well. So that's going to be a big one for the month. They're still looking at an October commencement date for that airport to be up and operational. One of the big things with that airport is agriculture again and the export markets into China. We've done a lot of work we've got some federal government funding to look at agriculture in the Asian century, and particularly in relation to protein foods. And Joe Shepherd has been working a lot on that, but we've had some couple of really good reports now that look at the opportunities that might be in Asia for growers on the Darling Downs. So Joe Shepherd's doing a lot of work on that, and you might see some media on that in the next few days. What we've really got to start to do, though, I think in this region, we've got to get really serious about it, is that we're finally getting all this infrastructure. The range bypass has been announced and will get started late this year, but more than likely early next year. We've got inland rail, which I think is now a pretty high degree of probability that it will get off the ground. We've got the inner city ring road in Toowoomba, QIC spending all that money in Toowoomba, and of course the airport. All of these things mean phenomenal growth for our region. What's it actually mean? It's all happened in a quite short time frame, so now we've got to work out what that infrastructure might mean for Toowoomba and set some plans in place. Just this morning I met with a group of farmers looking to try and do things better and innovate their businesses to take advantage of opportunities because of this infrastructure and the growth in Asia. We've really got to have some set plans and concrete actions in place to allow them to take advantage of the opportunities. That's probably it for this month. But with all of this going on, Toowoomba and our region, the Surat Basin region, is going to be an epicentre of infrastructure. I can't think of a capital city that's going to have more infrastructure being built. over the next few years than Toowoomba. So we're going to be the highlight of Australia. We've been identified in property magazines and a whole range of things this week as being one of the best places to grow and invest. So when you put all these things together, there's never been a better time to live and work in the Surat Basin. So until next month, thanks for listening. I hope the video worked well. If you've got any feedback, give me a bell. Thanks.